stories about water and urban places. This is Ideanthro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Coming to you today from my chicken run. Why are we coming to you today from a chicken run? Well, sometimes on Ideanthro, I like to share little observations that add up and contribute to a bigger understanding of water-sensitive urban design. Now, back in episode 172, we were at a bioretention system. We saw that it was growing algae on the surface, but for the first time ever, I saw something different, something that distinguished where that algae would grow from where it would not. And that was shade and that was cover. So you can go back and watch that episode, but primarily what it's about is when you have bioretention systems with excessive inflows, excessive moisture in them, you sometimes get algae and moss growing on the surface. Now in that system it was moss and I incorrectly identified it as algae, just one of those slip of the tongue sort of things. So you get these wet bioretention systems, they start to grow algae or moss on the surface can start to clog up, and this is a problem. But we noticed in this system that where there was plant cover, where there was leaf drop, where there was shade, the algae wouldn't grow. And since then, as I've been going out and about looking around systems, I've been looking to make sure that wasn't a one-off, make sure that wasn't just one random system where that was happening. And I've certainly seen more systems since then where I can see this pattern, where there's sunlight, where there's exposed surface. I see algae and moss, at least where there is enough moisture for them to grow. But where there is a similar amount of moisture, in my opinion, in my ad hoc observations, because this isn't a scientific study, in my ad hoc observations, where there is similar amounts of moisture but there is not the sunlight, I don't see the algae or the moss growing. And so yesterday I was standing in my backyard. It's been raining a lot recently. I've got some bits of bare earth around the place, particularly in the chicken run behind us, and I noticed something. I noticed that there is a small patch where there is some algae growing on the surface. And I was like, that's interesting. But you know what's more interesting? This is the one patch of bare earth in the yard that gets a lot less sunlight than everywhere else. So I'm going to spin this around. I'm going to give you a quick look. So what we've got here, we have the whole chicken run itself. You can see lots of bare earth. And we've got a little bit of bare earth just outside the front here, just outside. And it's that bit that's growing the algae. So if we scoot in just here, you see we've got those little green patches just there like so. Scoot back a bit more here. It continues a little bit this way. Some more just on the surface there. But if we flick up into the chicken run proper, there's none. Now the first thing you might be going is, well, chicken run, do the chickens spend more time in there? Are they disturbing it? No. Our chickens get to free range around the yard all day. So the distinguishing factor here is not the chickens disturbing it in the chicken run, as opposed to just outside the gate. But what is different here, if we zoom back out for a second, is cover. Because we have the chicken run covered here, and it is in shade for most of the day. Now it's morning, obviously. Big lot of sun up in the sky. Right now, we're facing east at the moment, so the sun comes over this way, and then sets down in the afternoon over that way. So essentially anywhere from like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, this area is pretty well shaded, but not the bit just outside the gate here. The bit just outside the gate gets a lot more sun. And I think that is the distinguishing factor here between why we have algae growing just outside the gate and none in the run itself. And so this is just another one of those little bits of information that just ties together. Okay, that observation we saw in a bioretention system, well, that's all good. We saw it once with that moss. Okay, that's interesting, that's useful, but doesn't necessarily tell us a heap. I have then seen it more recently, more consistently, more commonly in other bioretention systems. Well, that's good, but that's still only observations in bioretention systems. Maybe there's something else going on. But then we pick up an observation here that's got nothing to do with bioretention, and the same pattern feels like it holds. It just starts to add a little bit more info, a little bit more knowledge to this piece of the puzzle, piece of the pie. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you found that useful. By all means, tell me if you've seen algae growing in a bioretention where you think this pattern doesn't hold. If you've seen algae or moss in a bioretention system growing in the shade and you're like, nah, Jack, this doesn't make sense. I would love to hear from you, because it's that knowledge, that info that helps to build our understanding of these systems and how they work. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Before you go, our best episodes come from your questions. This knowledge base, these discussions that are Ideanthro, improve with your contribution. So if there's a topic, an idea, a concept that you would like us to explore, come and ask us. you know where to find us. www.ideanthro.com/contact. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and that place you get your good podcasts from. You know where to find us. We look forward to hearing from you. We'll see you soon.